Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Ignition Time. My name is Dr. Nitin Chowda, and welcome to our channel, the Ignition Time channel, where we cover important events in an unbiased manner pertaining to the country, the economy, as well as our money. I want to explore some efforts from former aides to former President Trump who have launched a multi-million-dollar campaign against President Biden's economic plan. In fact, senior Trump officials, Larry Kudlow, Linda McMahon and Brooke Rollins are pushing Save America Coalition, which is opposing the Democratic proposal. Think about this for a second, folks. So a new conservative coalition, this is a new conservative coalition led by many former Trump administration officials, is launching a multi-million-dollar campaign to attack President Biden's economic package as it advances through Congress. Now, this effort is being spearheaded by the America First Policy Institute that was founded earlier this year by former Trump officials. Now, what are these people up to? Well, folks, leaders of this campaign, which is called Save America Coalition, met in Washington in order to discuss what they were going to do. What they're doing is actually rallying more than 100 conservative organizations and drawing donors for advertisements and social media campaigns criticizing the Biden proposal in swing states. Now, a lot of conservatives are alarmed about President Biden's proposed tax hikes, which some have said overwhelmingly target the rich and large corporations. So a lot of conservatives are extremely upset about this, and Democrats are finding it extremely challenging to try and pass this because they're getting resistance from the conservative Democrat from West Virginia, Joe Manchin. They are also facing resistance from the Democratic senator from the state of Arizona, Senator Kristen Sinema, who essentially keeps her cards close to her chest, unlike Joe Manchin, who's all over the news. You will find another video on our channel where I explore the hidden impact of Senator Kristen Sinema, the Democrat, in essentially derailing the entire Democratic agenda because she's going against the rest of her party's establishments, which, by the way, Republicans like the Republican Senator Thom Tillis and the Republican Senator Mitt Romney absolutely love. Now, who's leading the Save America Coalition? One of these individuals is Brooke Rollins, who actually led the White House Domestic Policy Council under former President Trump and is now the CEO of the America First Policy Institute. Now, Rollins told the Washington Post that the campaign will, I quote, include all of our key people to fight on every front. And this includes Larry Kudlow, who used to be Trump's top economic advisor. This includes Linda McMahon, the former professional wrestling executive who led the Small Business Administration, and Russell Vought, who's Trump's budget director. Now, former Trump campaign advisor Stephen Moore is also helping lead the coalition through the Committee to Unleash Prosperity. And Larry Kudlow confirmed his involvement in an interview and said the phrase, Save America, was his idea for the campaign. So all of these individuals are essentially lining up in order to be able to fight President Biden. This is what Rollins said. The Biden economic agenda is designed with one goal in mind: to remake America and the principles upon which our nation was founded. These policies threaten American prosperity, small businesses, the economic health of every American family, and our standing in the world. Wow. In the meantime, White House spokesman Michael Gwynn had this to say. President Biden was elected decisively last year on a promise to rebuild the middle class by putting places like Scranton ahead of Wall Street and Park Avenue. And unlike his predecessor, he's delivered on that with an economic plan that will cut taxes and lower prices for working families by asking multinational corporations and the wealthiest Americans to pay their fair share. He also said this. It's a badge of honor that those same wealthy interests are now attacking President Biden as he advances his plan to invest in the middle class and lower prices on essentials like prescription drugs and healthcare. So you can start to see, folks, that the mudslinging between the administration and the White House on one hand and these conservatives and these influential Republicans, although they were part of the former administration, you can see that this mudslinging has actually begun. In fact, the Joint Committee on Taxation, which is Congress's non-partisan tax co-keeper, found in an analysis published recently that the Democratic Tax Committee's proposal would lower the average tax rate for all income groups earning under $200,000 a year. This analysis found that it would rise by 0.2% for those making between $200,000 and $500,000 a year, and taxes would increase by 1.6% for those making between $500,000 and $1 million a year, and by 10.6% for those earning more than $1 million a year. Now, as you can imagine, a lot of conservative groups have actually dismissed these numbers, and they are saying that, hey, look at the strong labor market, look at the income growth for low wage workers in 2019, which, by the way, was the last year of the Trump presidency. They are saying that increasing corporate taxes will hurt economic growth, and all of that increase in taxes will be passed on to consumers because companies will simply charge consumers more money and pay workers less if they have to pay more in taxes. So a big part of the conservatives' efforts will be focused on slowing down the proposal by the Democrats, and they believe that the more we can delay this, the better. That's what Moore said. In fact, Moore leads the Committee to Unleash Prosperity, and this is another quote from Moore. We're telling donors and other organizations this is the war of the worlds for the conservative movement because we have to stop this bill. This is our pitch to donors. This bill is reversing the 40-year Reagan revolution that has really changed the country. Wow, folks, I didn't think I would be using a phrase like war of the worlds when it comes to a US president versus the opposing party, but this is a state of politics in our country. Unfortunately, we do live in a very, very divisive climate where it's always us against them. Politics has always been about timing, about opportunity, about tribalism, us against them, and about perception. And the perception that the White House is trying to create is, hey, we're looking out for the little guy, we're looking out for the low income earner, the middle income earner. And basically what the conservatives, these powerful conservatives are saying is, hey, this is this is an insidious agenda from the administration to destroy everything that America stands for. A lot of the spending is unnecessary. And this is just an attempt by the Democrats to increase the social safety net and make people more dependent on the government and increase the overreach of the government, which needs to be minimized. This is the classic philosophical and political battle between the Republicans and the Democrats. And unfortunately, it's essentially going to new levels now with money, tens of millions of dollars at stake from these powerful conservatives who have plenty of money to combat the Democratic agenda. Now, keep in mind, Democrats have a ton of money too, but at the end of the day, a lot of this money should be spent to help people, not to fight each other, which is essentially what is happening in our country. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Please click the like button. Please click subscribe. Please enable notifications. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. Thank you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.